It is almost as familiar a part of New York lore as a taxi or King Kong or the building that he climbed, a can of chock full o' nuts coffee. But then it became a New York export. And as the quintessentially recognizable can crossed the Mississippi River in a push to go national, concerns arose about one word on the label that might not play well in Omaha or Oklahoma City nuts. So Chock full o' nuts has put what amounts to a giant disclaimer on the can: no nuts. To those whose day cannot start without a cup, saying that Chock full o' nuts has no nuts sounds as contradictory as movie titles like Eyes Wide Shut and True Lies. Do people really think that chock full o' nuts cans are chock full of nuts? Apparently so convincing consumers that there are no nuts in chock full o' nuts is, well, a tough marketing nut to crack. Every time we've done consumer research on why some people do not purchase the product, one thing that comes back to us is there's something in the coffee, said Dennis Crawford, the senior marketing manager for Chock full o' nuts. Most of the people in New York, we've been there forever and they get it, but if you're in Omaha and suddenly we're on the shelf and you see the brand for the first time, there's confusion. No nuts and 100% premium coffee appeared on Chock full o' nuts can several months ago as part of a subtle redesign of the label. The basic color scheme remained the same: taxicab yellow and basic black, but the New York skyline was redrawn, showing the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building illuminated, as at dawn, when the sun is coming up and people are padding into their kitchens, desperate for a jolt. The moment of benefit, Mr. Crawford called it. The redesigned can also has an echo of Chock full o' nuts' famous song, Heavenly Coffee. The can says part of the lyric featured in Chock full o' nuts commercials starting in the mid-1950s. And while it may send a message to consumers with nut allergies, Mr. Crawford said that issue never really came up in focus groups. It was always something like, is there an added ingredient in the coffee, he said. They were looking for pure coffee, which is what it is and always has been. Analysts who follow the coffee industry said the no nuts notice catered to current consumer preferences. Consumers are going for natural, authentic, and transparent beverages, said James Watson, the senior beverage analyst for Rabobank. If you think about it from the consumer side, there's very little we know about a lot of brands other than what's facing us on the shelf, so to communicate what's in there, this kind of explicit messaging could be very important. Darren Cipher, a food and beverage analyst with the market research firm NPD Group, said this was a good time to explain the brand more clearly because coffee consumption at home has been rising. In 2008, he said, coffee was consumed at 25% of breakfast tables in the United States. The comparable figure is now 28%. When you figure that there are 300 million people and we have breakfast 365 days a year, he said, even if sometimes we skip breakfast, that's hundreds of millions more occasions when coffee is being consumed in the morning, so it's a good time to jump on this wave.